I think it's fitting that the last shovel of mud belongs to Kron, who made this mess.
I mean, par for the course. I did the first 300 shovels.
How much money did this venture make us?
I thought we were sharing the work equally. It's fine.
Tinge of whining here?
No, not whining.
Okay. You want to fight?
No, I don't want to fight.
All out.
Here, I'll take the shovel and I'll just...
Why'd you throw the shovel too?
Because you said it was the last scoop, dude.
Okay.
That's the joy if you get the last shovel.
You knocked over... What'd you knock over? Arachnophobia?
It's fine.
Why'd you throw it at the A section? That's where everybody starts.
It's closest.
All right.
All right, so clearly we don't have a mud bath anymore.
Okay. No, and how are we getting out of here?
I don't know.
This is a deep fucking hole, man.
Yeah, it's fucking huge.
We can climb up that thing.
The fuck is that? I wasn't there.
I thought that was the leaf blower at first, like as we started to dig into it. But
looks like a perfect black lucite square.
Yeah.
This is a fucking monogram.
What's on the other side? Is it like a big domino?
There's nothing on it on either side.
Has anybody touched this thing?
I kind of don't want you to. It's like so perfectly flat and pristine. It's like fresh snow. I don't want you to don't smudge it.
I gotta fucking touch it, dude.
Don't touch it.
I gotta touch it.
Just being around it makes me feel smarter and stronger and better.
Yeah, Dan, you touch it, I'm gonna.
This is really hard right now.
I'm gonna fucking smash your jaw. That's all I know.
I can't stop not looking at it.
Stop reaching your hand out slowly, dude. I don't like what you're doing to the fucking...
Yeah. This is everybody's domino.
Well, technically it's mine because I did the last shovel that helped us find it.
No.
I think I gotta touch it, guys.
I just think if anyone's gonna touch it, I should touch it.
Oh, I think I gotta touch it. What? What's going on? What's wrong with him?
Dan, hand me that bone.
I gotta touch it.
Bone's fucking losing it. Hand me the fucking femur, dude.
Oh, I just have there's a bone? Where's the... What the fuck is... Why is there a bone here?
Because we gotta fucking fight, dude. We gotta fucking defend the square.
It's a monograph, dude.
Yeah. Stop. As soon as you touch it,
Monograph?
you're gonna pronounce it correctly.
Sugar Ray going solo?
It's a monograph. Wait, what's wrong with you?
Okay. I don't know. It's activating something in me, dudes.
There's
Okay.
no moon in here.
I think if we push it over, we can walk up it. Get out of here.
So
Do
we can
not.
touch it?
Don't
Push.
fuck.
You gotta push it over. I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna kill you both.
When I stand next to it and I close my eyes, I see a giant baby as big as the world.
Yeah.
All right, I'm touching it, huh? Ow! Oh my god. We're doomed.
I gotta break it. I gotta kill it.
I think I just seen the future.
Let's just all push it over
Are we a
together.
super race?
Oh,
Put your
yeah.
fucking hand down, Bones.
Oh yeah.
See what you're doing, dude.
We lose.
Look, on the count of 3, let's just all push it down. Okay?
Yes.
This,
Yeah,
son.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Oh shit, this was the carbon monoxide pipe. That's not good.
Oh, I feel great though.
Yeah, I'm starting to calm down a lot.
Getting high.
That's pretty good.
How did I see the future, man? The sun collided with the earth. It was weird.
I'm gonna take a nap for a minute.
Okay. You want me to read Goodnight Moon to you?
That's a good one.
This week on 5 Day Rentals, Moonraker. All right, welcome back everybody to the 5-Day Rentals podcast. This is the video store podcast where each week we take turns picking a flick that we think meets a fun, non-genre specific category. This round's category, courtesy of Bones, is 00 Hell Yeah, the films of one James Bond. I am Kron Howard. I will be your host this week. We are covering Moonraker from 1979, directed by Lewis Gilbert. I can't do this thing alone. I'm joined, as always, by two guys who have spent all week practicing docking. It's Bones and Laundry Dan. Say hey.
Now is no time for caution, Dan. If
Let's
you
do
pass
it.
out, I'll take over.
Let's do it. Can only
Hi,
become
Kron.
more powerful.
You did it, Kron. You got to see Moonraker.
I don't regret a thing.
All your years of joking, and it's finally here.
It's done.
and
It's over.
that's
did
all
it.
you got to say is you don't regret a thing.
No, I don't regret it.
So we can end the podcast now. Once this category's done,
Show's over.
I did you a favor.
He Kron Howard himself.
How?
Like
Yeah.
usually we'll make a joke about a movie. You'll pick that movie and use it against us.
Mm-hmm.
Puppet Master 3. Example from me.
Because you
Yeah.
guys are puppet guys.
But I just puffed my chest, right? And finally that joke bounced off.
And stuck to him.
1940s Superman style.
Yeah, but see, it's like when we watch Puppet Master, you guys are like, this sucked. And I'm like, I thought Moonraker was fine.
See, I think there's going to be an element of, what's the word I'm looking for? Where like you purposely go against the grain.
Are you playing us?
Yeah. Not troll. You're being counterculture, contrarian. You know?
I don't think so.
No,
I'm being genuine.
I think you are. I think a lot of people that watch Moonraker now, I think there is this sense of like, this is fun. Why is everybody upset?
That's, I mean, it looks really good too.
Yeah, it looks
doesn't
great.
look cheap.
It's got
It wasn't.
an incredible opening. Yeah. It's double its the film before its budget. An incredible opening stunt.
So we are covering Moonraker, but I do think it's important that we just quickly run through the suggestions that I had when I was picking a Bond movie.
I thought it was just Moonraker. That was it.
No, I sent several texts
To who?
to both of you. All right, here we go. In order. Of course, I suggested we cover Woody Allen's Bond movie.
Oh, this shit doesn't count.
A firm no. I then suggested, I said, are we sure we're ruling this one out? And I sent a picture of The Rock. Bone said, permanently banned from 5-Day Rentals.
It's the movie, not the actor.
I then suggested
Some bitch.
a speed run of the N64 game GoldenEye, which did seem to have Eon input.
Save it for a live commentary. We can watch that while we make a scramble.
And then I think the last one was 00 Sex, the James Bond porn parody.
Too horny. Did you watch that, by the way?
No. I was going to buy it, and then Bone said no. I was going to buy it and rip it and send it to both of you.
You should have. I would
Well.
have. Why didn't you ask me? I would have said yes.
Bone said no.
I think it was less
Bones
of
didn't say nothing.
an immediate no and more of like just ignored you
Mm-hmm. That's a
because you were
no.
in one of those manic. What about this one?
What's the climax in that movie?
Bond comes. What do you think it is?
So that's the climax? He goes the whole movie without coming?
Yeah.
That's brutal.
He has to jump back to a mission or something.
It sounds like you watched it.
That seems more like an Ethan Hunt problem. You know? Like he wouldn't get to nut.
Mm-hmm.
Bond's got a nut. Speaking of nut, what'd you think of the babes in this one, Kron?
I think Dr. Goodhead's pretty attractive.
Yeah, she's got that one thing going for her.
And that fucking pilot, dude.
Yeah. Ripped to shreds by those dogs.
They killed her off too early.
That's a beautiful scene.
Oh, yeah. It would be a beautiful scene in any other movie.
Might be my favorite scene in this movie.
You don't like the giant laser fight at the end?
No, I just wish those dogs were ripping me apart as I was watching this 4-hour movie.
What do you think your odds are of surviving that laser fight? Pretty fucking good, right?
Well, I don't know. They kill all the yellow suit people.
That's crazy considering that, you know, not a single laser is fired in their direction.
I thought maybe they shot them off screen.
You guys,
they had them put their hands behind their backs and
I
get on their
gotta
knees.
know what your guys' reactions were to watching this. Like, okay, he's in space, and then, oh fuck, a space shuttle full of space marines shows up.
Uh-huh.
Super Troopers.
I mean, it is.
What were you gonna say, Dan?
Starship Troopers. I was gonna ask. I know Bones is a Bond fan, but as I watch these, I'm like thinking to myself that Austin Powers like fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, goddamn, like they really nailed it.
I mean, at the end of our Diamonds Are Forever episode, I said you could just watch Austin Powers at this point.
I mean, they were on record that Austin Powers kind of fucked up the Daniel Craig movies because they were like, we can't really return to that formula.
I mean, were they
in a way, you know,
go back to like goofy Bond movies?
I don't know, man. Next week, one of the big discussions I was hoping for would be kind of a loose discussion about how Bond course corrects as a franchise and how it reacts to pop culture at the time.
Well, it seems like they're constantly chasing whatever's hot at the time.
They do, but they also get really lucky and they're ahead of stuff. Mm-hmm. Like they're like the stunt at the beginning of this, like jumping out of an airplane with no parachute. Mm-hmm. They're sort of ahead of that.
Filmed with a porn camera.
But the movie as a whole is a reaction to Star Wars. You know, Casino Royale opens with a fucking massive parkour chase.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's huge at the time. Fucking snowboards and A View to a Kill. Like, it's crazy. But then there's also the course correction of, wow, people really didn't like that one. Well, let's go the other way. You know, Diamonds Are Forever was, wow, Majesty's got way too dark.
Yeah,
let's bring it back the other way. This
was a hit, though, right?
It has a lot to do with Connery coming back.
Yeah.
It's interesting, you know, and this being Guy Hamilton does Diamonds Are Forever, then does the next two. Live and Let Die, Man with a Golden Gun. Lewis Gilbert comes back from You Only Live Twice and pretty much makes the same three movies. Opens with a big thing being hijacked. Dude wants to destroy the world. You can, and it's why I wanted Dan or somebody at least to watch Spy Who Loved Me, because they are carbon copies of each other.
What's the plot on that one?
He wants to start an underwater civilization. This guy wants to start.
Oh, instead of a moon civilization?
Yeah.
But
he's a crazy rich guy. Bond gets paired with a female agent from another country.
Falls in love with Agent Triple X.
Mm-hmm. Who is apparently an agent, but also completely useless the whole movie. Jaws is there. Jaws is introduced in the movie before. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Spy Who Loved Me is... I was thinking about this today. I don't want to say epic, but I don't know. To me, it's just like a more... I guess it flows better, maybe. I don't know. Because this one is wackadoo compared to that one. It's
Spy Who Loved Me is arguably like a top 5.
I could see that.
Yeah. After the snooze fest that is Man with the Golden Gun, from a gadget standpoint, set standpoint, henchman standpoint, everything. And then Moonraker is just like, well, let's just do that again, but with Star Wars.
I mean, you definitely can't call Moonraker a snooze fest, though. Would you guys call it that? I feel like there's crazy shit happening all the time in this movie.
It took me like 4 days to watch this movie.
It's tough, man.
It's too long, but there are choices made that are like, this is wild. I don't think Dan will be shocked by this. Kron, this might be my least favorite Bond movie. This is crazy.
Yeah. This is probably the one that I've seen the least, that I have the least amount of like drive to watch.
I feel like Diamonds Are Forever is more of a snooze fest than this.
Oh, man.
It feels like broccoli threw everything, including the kitchen sink, with this one.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't call it a snooze fest because there's so much weird shit constantly.
And this is going to be tricky. I could see the first time I watched it at this age thinking like, wow, that was crazy. That was wild. Having grown up on it. It's weird. I mean, from a tonal perspective, it's all over the place, dude. You will have like a super serious kill. And then, a few scenes later, he's driving a gondola, like just.
Yeah. Bondola.
And you're like, what? Oh, that's good. And even for me, I'm like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to feel about this? Where Diamonds Are Forever, I'm like, this thing out the gate knows what it is.
Sucks.
I
feel like that. I mean, that one is.
That you like Moonraker.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
it's shocking to me.
That's why I love 5-day rentals, I guess.
Diamonds Are Forever. The whole story is just like, I don't know. There's some blood diamond thing that's all fucked up. It's like such a non-story even. And then the whole plot is just kind of like lazy and lackadaisical. It's like slow and sleepy and shit. You're in Vegas for 95% of the movie. They go to the fucking space in this one, dude.
Yeah. After we go to fucking Rio and Venice.
Yeah. And then you get space at the end of that?
Let me fight a fucking anaconda and then we're going to space.
Yeah, but
I just don't get Bond stuff. Because it's like the people that are into it are like, oh, this one's fun. This Diamonds Are Forever. Because it's like slow and goofy. And then this one is like way goofier and fast, and people are like, it's fucking trash.
I think there's a difference between goofy and camp, though. But that's also why Bond is great, is that This thing is literally grouped right next to Diamonds Are Forever in the overall Letterboxd rankings.
Mm-hmm. Guys,
and I totally get it. Last week I said I totally get why somebody would hate this one. And I totally get why people would love Moonraker. It's great formula, but...
Guys, speaking of ratings, I think you should rate my Letterboxd.
I think I think it's not a substantial... Well... In the range we're dealing with, I think a point is substantial. I think Kron is a 3.0 on Moonraker.
I'm going to join you on that Venice boat. It's a 3.0 as well for Kron.
They're called gondolas.
Bondolas.
All right, guys, this is Moonraker from 1979. Directed by Lewis Gilbert. We start out with this assassin who's already got his gun drawn on Bond. But what luck, Bond is able to turn in a split second and shoot this guy. And it must have been some sort of armor-piercing round because this guy's blood sprays way far out, covers the barrel of his gun.
Split second? You think Roger Moore's capable of that speed?
Yeah. Look, I know I've not seen very many, but I think he's better than Connery.
Oh, his gun barrel's way better than Connery's.
I think he's a better Bond than Connery.
Wow.
This is going to be a 5-hour episode.
I love it. I love people arguing who they think their best or favorite Connery is, or Bond.
Would you say Connery, Bones?
I don't know if Connery is my favorite. I think it's pretty goddamn hard to get out of the wake that Connery left. It's tough.
I think Moore's good, dude.
There's elements of this is going to be Jesus Christ tripping over constantly. Moore as Bond feels like the smartest Bond.
Mm-hmm.
There's such joy in watching him like be able to identify the scientific name of an orchid. In no way do I feel like Roger Moore could fight any person that he fights in his tenure. So, but that makes it fun. Like the way he judo chops in his first few movies, and then like, that being said, though, For Your Eyes Only, he has one of the most brutal kills and is like the most cold-blooded. Like, it's one of the top 5 cold-blooded Bond moments. You're like, God damn, that would have been fucking cool to see. But he as a person had a tough time with that. I don't know, it's like Batman's. We've been so lucky. They're all great.
Mm-hmm.
So...
All right, guys, we get our opening scene here. The Moonraker shuttle is being transported via plane. The airplane crew is making good time, but 2 goons are stowed away on the Moonraker. They pop out, fire it up. They shoot this shuttle off. It blows up the plane behind them. Explosion looks pretty good.
Yeah. And here's another thing that you might take for granted. Space Shuttle didn't exist yet. That thing was brand new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, didn't they like go to NASA to be like, what do space shuttles look like?
Yeah. And it was supposed to kind of, launch around the same time, and it got delayed.
Mm-hmm. We cut over to some British intelligence guys. They're being briefed on all this shit that's gone down.
It's M, dude.
Right,
Bernard
M is there. One of them calls out to Moneypenny to see if Bond is back from the Africa job. I'm guessing that was the previous movie.
No, this is just a throwaway job.
Oh, it's just like a line that they put in?
Yeah, they're just building up the lore that he just finished another job. He's on his way back.
But that's not what happens he doesn't go to Africa in the movie before this?
He works. He's a working secret agent.
Okay, it just seems like they would build in some fucking continuity.
They do by Jaws
series.
popping in.
Yeah.
All right. It looks like the years have been bad to Moneypenny. It looks like she has aged 50 years in 9.
Look at her Playboy. You wouldn't be saying that stuff. I forgot to send the Playboy bonds for this movie this week. Sorry.
I think this is Bernard Lee's last casting as M, but I think she's through for the rest of Roger Moore.
Is she the same one that's in Diamonds Are Forever?
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn.
She was the same one from Dr. No all the way up to this one.
I thought they recast her.
Nope.
I told you that last week, that they just re-signed her for Diamonds Are Forever.
Kron, you would absolutely fucking love the Moneypenny from Timothy Dalton's run.
Hey, check out her.
Well, didn't I
Playboy
watch
so
one of
you can
those?
see her boobies.
Yeah. What's
I
that?
watched one of those.
Yeah, you saw License to Kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see her boobs in Playboy.
The one from License to Kill?
No, the money penny in this movie, Money Penny.
Lois Maxwell.
All right, send them to me.
I will.
Should that be the Hustler Minute next week? Can we just talk about those?
I mean,
let's
how
do
many
let's do
Bond
all the
girls-
Bond girls.
The chick
got-
from Living Daylights, the Bond girl from Living Daylights, is the chick in Extra. And it blew my mind when I saw Extra.
That chick is hot, dude.
Knock the living daylights out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Might be coming up.
You could ride my heart on like a cello case.
We cut over to Bond on a private jet.
Put it in a phone booth.
He's got his hand up some chick's skirt, but she pulls a gun on him. Her and the pilot, they throw on parachutes and tell Bond to enjoy his flight.
Is that the laziest gun reveal ever?
I think she was kind of wanting to see where it was going to go.
Okay.
But the clock was running out.
A woman lifted that gun like it weighed 45 pounds.
Bond wrestles the pilot out of the plane, so he throws him out. But out of nowhere, Jaws appears. Where the fuck was he? Why is he on the plane?
I'm sure that got a blast from people. Opening weekend.
Jaws is so good in The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah. He's terrifying. And then in this, it's just
So awesome.
it's fun.
The stuff I like the Jaws stuff in this movie.
Oh, man. It's really hard to beat him ripping that van apart. In Spy Who Loved Me.
All right, Jaws pushes Bond out of the plane. He's free falling, no shoot. Guys, I think whatever we say about this movie, good or bad, this is a great opening.
Undeniable.
It looked great in 70. Just boom.
I mean, this would have been like
Of its time.
like the Mission Impossible stunts of its day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still crazy that they did this, to have someone free fall without a parachute on.
Kron, they had parachutes.
I know he had one under his suit, but all the same.
They did 80-something jumps to do this, to get all this.
88, and they can only film
3 seconds at a time.
Yeah.
And, I was talking about the paths that the franchise takes, and a big a big issue with that is who directs and who stays on and who's part of the team. John Glenn directs the next 5 movies. He was actually the first AD, shot a lot of the stunts. So he actually shot the opening for Spy Who Loved Me and this one, and was able to we got that shot, let's move and jump to this one. So he was kind of able to edit and get them all the perfect shots necessary. But again, when we talk about the carbon copy, Spy Who Loved Me opens up with a great ski chase to this incredible base jump. So it's like, all right, let's just do another parachute thing. You're like, God damn it. All right. But I agree with you. You cannot take away how awesome this opening is.
All right,
And,
Bond.
give it up to the franchise for giving the guys that work on the movies their chance to direct the movies.
Sometimes it works out great. Sometimes you get like a Peter Hunt who edited like all of the Connerys and then does On His Majesty's Secret Service, and they're like, oh, nope, sorry, we're taking the keys back.
Want that gold finger in that ass.
All right, guys. Bond is falling without a chute, but luckily he's able to like hyperfly himself down to the pilot, catches up with that guy, wrestles in midair, steals his parachute, kicks him away to his death.
How embarrassing that Roger Moore steals your parachute, man.
You guys think we could take Roger Moore
Well, I
in
think I could now.
79?
He's old as shit. He's probably dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
He's dead.
He was the first one to die.
We should go piss on his grave, Dan.
He was as old as when Connery left and Moore came in, they were like the same age.
I watched Spy Who Loves Me. He looks... The fighting in Spy Who Loved Me he looks terrible in that movie. He looks better in Moonraker than he does in that movie. And this is after.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, he must have gotten into some shape or something. He loved those French hours, apparently.
All right, Bond is flying through the air now. He thinks he's in the clear, but wouldn't you know it, Jaws catches up to him.
Well, it's because he's heavier, right? So
He's a
he
big guy.
falls faster.
just falling faster.
Just as Jaws is going to take a big chomp out of Bond's leg, Bond deploys his chute. Jaws tries to throw his, but he just like pulls the cord out.
He's too strong.
Mm-hmm. And he falls into a giant circus tent below.
Well, after he flaps his arms to slow himself down.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
I think ending with the tent is dumb, but having it like transition right into the credits, I thought was at least like a interesting.
Yes.
It's like a disappointing ending to that great stunt, but then you're just into the credits and it's kind of like, all right, I guess so. Our song is Moonraker by Diamonds Are Forever's own Shirley Bassey.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, what'd you think of Moonraker?
Don't remember.
It's kind of a formalist song. Just
Done at the very last minute, from what I understand.
it seems like they told her the song is called Moonraker. Here's the melody.
Don't
Do
sing it
whatever you want.
Don't sing it to the melody of Goldfinger, though. Probably my least favorite Bond song.
Yeah, it's kind of just nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Man with the Golden Gun, all time high. Most of my like bottom tier ones come from the Moore era, and then two of my absolute favorites come from the Moore era. So that's the benefit of him doing 7, I guess.
Like I said, not much going on with the song. I do kind of like the visuals, though. It's just like nude women flying around over the moon and shit.
Pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
We cut over to Bond arriving at HQ. He gets the rundown on Moonraker.
I love when Moneypenny's like, "Where have you been?" And he was like, "Fell out of an airplane without a parachute." And she just ignores it. And he's like, "You don't believe me, do you?" That's a good line.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun Bond stuff. Let's see. Moonraker was being flown over by the Americans, but the plane crashed.
You sounded so much like a Bond guy when you said that. Fun Bond stuff.
Yeah.
You a Bond guy now?
I think I'm more of like a Moonraker guy. They have some suspicions that the Moonraker's been stolen.
That is like, hey, are you for like women's reproductive rights? And you're like, well, I'm a titty guy.
Yeah.
Like you like one ass. You have
Yeah,
your
I like
thing.
tits.
I like tits, man. Like, yeah, but you know, it's her body, her choice. Oh, of course, but like, let me see your tits.
Yeah. I think we're all on the same page here. Sorry you guys hate breasts. I say let them out. Stop wearing bras. They're uncomfortable. I don't like them. You don't like them.
Been wearing one?
Nah, not recently. All right, Drax Industries is who makes the Moonraker, and they want Bond to go meet with him to figure out what the fuck's going on. Q presents Bond with a little gizmo. It's a wrist dart that he's got like 5 blue-tipped armor-piercing rounds and 5 red-tipped cyanide rounds.
Activated by impulses, nerve impulses. Pretty sweet.
What if they would have gave Neo this instead of the pills?
Yeah, and it's like shoot yourself in the face with just whatever dart.
Seems dangerous to me. A lot of dangerous gizmos in this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a wrist gun that shoots darts is inherently dangerous.
As you talk with your hands, you're gonna.
Well, he's not Italian. He's okay.
We cut over to Bond on his plane to California. There's an absolute hottie named Corinne Dufour, who has been sent by Drax to be Bond's pilot. She flies him around, takes him to meet Mr. Drax.
Crazy, that helicopter. He gets on it at LAX, and then it takes him all the way to France.
Mm-hmm.
Is that easy?
Well, he leaves from Britain, right?
Yeah, but they shot most of this movie in France. Like they were all like tax exile people, so they were all trying to stay away from the UK government.
I mean, the Rolling Stones came out pretty good with this, but I don't know about Moonraker.
As we're flying over Drax Corp, it looks all space agey and shit. It's gray, a lot of like fucking angular buildings. Kind of looks like Star Wars shit, to be honest.
Star Wars shit, yeah. It almost like Blade Runner-y.
Mm-hmm.
That compound.
2048 or the original?
The good one. 2049.
The best one?
Yeah.
Is there a 2048 prequel?
That was a joke.
I'm sure there was a tie-in comic book.
I think I made a joke, or I was talking about it and said 2048 instead of 2049. I can't remember what.
And now you've Berenstein Bears yourself into it. Like that's...
I think I put it on one of the like...
Oh, speaking... This movie has one of those things. Mandala effect. Is that what it's called?
I thought you were going to say a Bernstein Bear. I was like, where did he fight that one at?
Outside the Drax residency. All right, Bond goes in to meet with Drax. He's sitting around playing the piano, just like Lance Hendrickson in Hard Target.
Mm-hmm. Hard to not see a Peter Dinklage in Drax.
I didn't write that down, but now that you say it...
I get it, yeah. I can see that.
Because Sam was like, "What? Who?" She's like, "Where have I seen him in?" And I was like, "I don't think we've seen much." I was like, "Ronan, I think is the only other thing I can think of." And I was like, "He's fucking old and Ronan." I was like, "Do you think he looks like dude from Game of Thrones, Peter Dinklage? And she was like, oh my God, yes. So.
Did you tell her that you didn't pick Ronan for the erection of Frankenheimer?
No, because I stand by my choice of the challenge.
Yeah.
Some challenge elements in this, huh? Kind of a samurai fight and around a bunch of cases.
Mm-hmm. All right. Drax has some ladies watching him. He's also got a couple Dobermans there.
What? The ladies out of nowhere?
No, the fight with...
Oh. With Chang?
Cha?
Or Cha? Chang. Racist fuck. Sorry.
You just added 2 extra letters.
I know it.
Drax is all like, what the fuck? Why'd you guys lose my fancy space shuttle? Drax and Bond sat down for a conversation. Drax is going on about like all the work they do on the Moonraker. There is this crazy Japanese guy who shows up to serve tea or something.
Yep. Drax is insulted because Bond doesn't want a cucumber sandwich.
Mm-hmm. You ever had one of those, Dan?
I'm not a big cucumber fan.
What are you not? You know what about pickle?
I'll eat a pickle. That's fine.
That's a cucumber.
What? I know that, but cucumber just, I don't know. It's a very it's a taste. It hits you. You know it's a and I just don't. I guess it surprises me, and I don't like it.
It's a choice. They're like skinny jeans.
It overpowers everything.
You're making
else.
A choice.
And I don't like that on this palate. Just recently started eating like peppers, like green peppers and yellow. So working my way.
Just now?
Yeah, I was a huge anti-green pepper guy for a long time. You know,
you were on that Tom Brady TB12 though, right? No
yeah,
night,
eat like
shade.
a squirrel. I can win 8 Super Bowls. You know.
Mm-hmm. All right. Drax tells Bond like, "Hey, you should go talk to Dr. Goodhead." As Bond is leaving, Drax grabs that Chaw guy and he's like, "Hey, make sure you fuck Bond up a little while he's around here.
Make sure some harm comes to him."
Mm-hmm.
Is the line, right? He's got some good lines. This Drax guy.
Not a bad guy.
No.
He's
just
do something.
He's the Venn diagram of Stromberg and Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say that. People be writing him in for vice president.
He can't. He's not a... Wait.
He's not...
I don't
Is
know
he
how...
American?
No, he's South African. What are the rules on vice president? No, you can't be, right? Because you're next in line.
I think you got to be American.
Yeah. Get out of here, Musk.
Bond goes to meet with Dr. Goodhead, but a woman greets him?
What the fuck?
Bond is...
Back the movie up, dude. I think Bond made a wrong turn.
Bond's like, no, not you. I'm here to see Dr. Goodhead. This lady says, that's me. Bond is like, what?
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 What? What?
Lady doctor?
You kidding me?
Dr. Goodhead starts showing him the shuttle. She's like, this is where we make the Moonraker. It's capable of going into space, landing, and then coming back and landing on Earth like any commercial airliner would do.
Did you see them catch that booster this week?
Who,
SpaceX?
Musk?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It's such a bummer he's associated with that because that shit's so cool.
What'd they catch it with? Big ball glove?
A big crane arm So you know how they were getting the boosters to land?
Mm-hmm.
They were slowing themselves down and self-landing. Well, they tested it like the largest booster yet, but they caught it on like the same tower that it took off from. So it slowed itself down and came next to the tower, and then these giant arms grabbed it. Success on their first try. Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
This was NASA's, what they were working on at the time, I believe, whenever they all went there to do research for this.
Yeah.
Oh, they were making the Moonraker?
Well, they were making freedom and independence.
They wanted it to land and all that shit without basically what it does in the movie.
They don't take any chances at NASA. They double up on everything.
Goodhead decides to show Bond the centrifuge. She's like, this thing's capable of simulating a shuttle launch. Bond's like, well, how fast does it go? She says, it go, like 3 Gs is the simulation of a shuttle launch.
5 Gs in my phone, dude.
Yeah, but this is 1979.
Mm-hmm.
Pussies.
She says most people pass out, or not pass out, but like tap out at 7 Gs. But she's like, this thing can go all the way up to 20, which will kill you. Why don't they just roll back the fucking machine?
I don't know. The speed limit's 70, and my car can do 160.
I guess that's true.
It's there.
It's America, dude.
Bond gets in this thing, straps himself in. That Chaw guy shows up and he's like, hey, Dr. Goodhead, you got an important phone call with Drax. He's like, all right, I gotta go, but they'll fucking spin you around in this thing. She does show him a little red button. She's like, this is a kill switch. If anything goes wrong, you just hit that button. It'll stop.
I'll be right back. I gotta go take a call from my partner, Dr. Slopknob.
Hell yeah, dude.
Was head a thing like in 79? That's what I was.
I think people were sucking dick.
Oh, yeah.
79.
Well, I know they were.
I think people have been sucking dick for a while, man.
I think the term head, I was like.
I think so.
Was it? Okay.
I think that's the joke, right? Like, that's the,
Well, yeah, I understand that, but I was just like, I guess that was a term in 79 still? Yeah. I got to go to the head was the bathroom, right?
Oh, so you think it's like Dr. Good Toilet?
Maybe she only does anal.
Well, he would be confused because it's the loo to him.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
The WC.
The water closet. All right, that Chaw guy, he sneaks up to the control room. I guess he tells...
You were recently in Europe. Is it still WC?
Yeah, there were a few double WCs.
All right.
Double WCs?
Yeah.
Whoa.
They can't call it WWF anymore.
Goddamn pandas.
That Chaw guy shows up. He tells the operator, I guess he's got an important call with Drax as well, because this guy gets out of there. We do see Chaw unplug the little, kill switch wire.
The Cat 5 cable, it's like the little treadmill emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Who's clipping that on?
I don't know. I see these old people. Well, I don't go to the Y anymore, but I used to see these old people at the Y and they didn't. It was like,
yeah,
you're 83. You should fucking clip that to your shirt.
Where do you go now?
I've been
the
running
WW?
out. Yeah. Water closet.
What are you gonna say, like Gold's Gym or some shit?
Nah, we're like in between. The Y that I went to, they lost their contract. It's a whole thing. I don't have a gym right now.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, it sucks.
The whole world is your gym, dude.
Well, I've been running outside some.
It's getting a little chillier, dude.
It's better. I would much rather run outside now than when it's fucking 87 degrees in the morning.
You got a little
something.
Got a little headlamp?
No.
Got a high-vis vest?
No.
Well, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
I'm trying to get hit.
Trying to get some of that money, baby.
Dude, I dart out in front of cars. I hide in a little bush line. I bolt.
See how good those feet reactions are.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Chaw fires up the centrifuge. It starts going faster and faster. Bond gets up to 7. It keeps going 9, 10, 12. Bond's trying to hit the little fucking kill switch. Nothing's happening. Just as he's about to pass out, he fires that little wrist dart that Q gave him. Hits the circuits in the machine. Whole thing shuts down.
Thank goodness. I thought
Bond.
he wasn't going to make it.
Just as Dr. Goodhead is running back up to the centrifuge, Bond stumbles out, probably covered in his own piss and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Semen, too.
Oh, you think he busted in the centrifuge?
I mean, you hit that many G's, man. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen to your body. He should have been bleeding from his goddamn ears, I think.
Mm-hmm.
A jizz stain, a piss stain, and bleeding from your ears.
Jesus, man. He's a gentleman agent.
When you hit them G's, baby.
He reserves his fluids for interrogations, okay?
You think they tell the Top Gun pilots, like, you gotta shit before
Yeah.
training starts today?
Take a shit, knock one off.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can pee. I think they've got a little pee bag.
No poop bag?
That's
Too
just
solid.
that's just rude to your co-pilot, man.
Goose, talk to me. I don't want to.
You
I
stink.
know what you're doing right
You
now.
fucking stink.
Too close for shit. Switching to piss.
Thank you.
Should have never happened in the first place.
When we land, let's go play volleyball. All right, Bond stumbles out. We cut over to later that night. Bond goes to meet with that pilot from earlier. He's clearly changed clothes, so he's not covered in his own feces anymore.
I think it's some okay acting from Roger Moore as he's like stumbling out, trying to like get his bearings.
Yeah, he's kind of shaking his head and
Yeah,
shit.
she's like, I don't know what could have happened. Let me help you. And he's just like, get the fuck away from me.
He does clock like Chaw up there too, doesn't he? As he's getting out of the centrifuge.
Kind of hard not to see that haircut bobbing around.
Did anybody read why this guy is in the fucking movie?
No, please tell me.
One of the producers or something was studying martial arts, and this guy was like his teacher. So he brought him with him to continue training, and he gave him a part in the movie. So this is why he's in the movie.
It's almost like a early Steven Seagal
Mm-hmm.
or a Adam Carolla.
What was Adam Carolla train people in karate?
I think he was, and I could be talking out of my ass. I think he was like Jimmy Kimmel's like boxing fitness trainer or something. And then realized like, damn, dude, you're pretty funny. We should get you on the radio or something.
That's wild.
Yeah.
The rest is history.
Mm-hmm. It just balanced itself out, right? Because now Kimmel is this sort of anti-Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sort of lefty late night hero. And then Corolla's now putting on glasses and talking about freedom of speech and shit. So
Maybe those two, set an example for the country. Reunite.
bring the man show back.
Show us how the
girls
left and the
jumping
right.
on trampolines.
Show us the sides can work together.
Isn't that what you say? They say though, like you get older, you turn conservative.
Oh, I thought you were going to say ziggy zaggy, ziggy zaggy. Oh.
You guys would have to chug a beer though.
No, it's a Diet Dr. Pete night over here at the Bone Zone.
Bummer.
Somebody's
What
got
are
a-
you drinking?
I got a Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest.
I had the Yingling October. I got 4 left. The Yingling Oktoberfest is fucking terrible.
Well,
Sierra Nevada.
Yingling, that's your first problem.
Mm.
I got the 2 hard. I got the 7s tonight. It's going to be a rough fucking Friday morning, if you know what I mean. But I don't fucking mind because I'm here with my boys at 5 Day Rentals.
All right, guys. 2-4 says, hey, my mom gave me a list of stuff never to do on the first date.
What is
Bon.
what is that? Like
Butt.
fingers?
Butt stuff.
Butt
Yeah.
stuff?
Probably all that shit. Bond says, hey, I need some info, but he ends up kissing Dufour. She kind of lets it slip that they were working on something like real top secret. She doesn't know anything about it. She walks over to the bed. Bond says, hey, what about that list from your mom? And Dufour says, good news. I'm illiterate. I never learned to read or write. Weird line to be sexy with. I never learned to read.
Well, that says grape. Is Roger Moore a sexy Bond?
I think he's
Maybe-
a suave Bond.
Maybe
I
not
think
to us.
I think that's up for you to decide, Dan.
I mean, you see Daniel Craig coming out of that beach,
really?
and you're like,
What?
Is
what
that in
Bond
a 007 porn parody?
I use the word coming as in he's walking out of the ocean. And you're just like, I'd fuck that guy. Yeah, all right. Like you could tell. Like, all right, he's got it. When I look at Roger Moore, I'm not going gay for Moore. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
It was a different time, dude.
Yeah, man.
I know, but you could at least smoke during, I guess.
Mhm.
What,
All
on
right, wait.
airplanes?
Yeah.
On the next episode, I want your list of fuckable Bonds. I want that. That's what I want.
I could give it to you right now.
All right, let me hear it.
Pierce Brosnan.
That's your fucking Pierce brought.
If I'm going to go gay for any of them,
I'm gonna write this down as gay for Bond list. All right, what's your number 2?
Connery,
All right,
Craig,
okay.
Moore,
Really?
Dalton, Lazenby.
Kron, you got one, or are you gonna do this next week?
No, we discussed it earlier. I support women and I like their tits. That's the kind of stuff I'm into. Later that night, Bond is poking around. They're in like Drax's study. He finds a safe. Dufour's like, oh, don't do that. But Bond has another little gizmo with it. Fucking spins around and unlocks it.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Little X-ray cigarette case.
And you get to have a cigarette when you're done. So, win-win.
I mean, you kind of hated the gizmos on Diamonds Are Forever, Kron, so I don't know.
Yeah, but these are cooler gizmos, dude.
Okay.
There's a fucking string that spins around later and explodes a guy's head. Fucking cool.
Yeah, they're going to have it ready for Army Day.
Mm-hmm.
You know how the Army's still using bolas?
Mm-hmm. Bond takes out all this paperwork. He starts snapping photos on a tiny little 007 camera. And he sees that one of them's labeled like Vanini glass.
Can you imagine who's got to develop that film from 007? I bet those some horny ass photos in there.
You probably, I mean, you get 3 of evidence and 20 of
Tits.
upskirt shots.
Yeah.
Like shit that's going to get you
It is.
arrested. Bond.
He is constantly dropping it in elevators.
Mm-hmm. And no one knows what it is. It's so tiny. Cut to the next morning. Drax and a bunch of his goons are out quail hunting. Bond shows up and Drax motions over to one of his guys to like get in position. This guy climbs up a tree. He's got a sniper scope. Drax hands Bond a gun. He's like, come on, give quail hunting a shot. It's fun as hell. They release these birds. Bond spins around. He shoots. Drax is like, oh, good try, but you missed. Bond says, did I?
Did I?
And guys, that gunman falls out of the tree.
That's awesome.
Fight, fight, fight.
He's dead.
Oh.
And at this point, Dan's going, so why didn't somebody else just shoot Bond?
Mm-hmm. These are very elaborate bad guys.
Why doesn't he just Dick Cheney him right there?
Yeah, I mean, Drax is holding a gun in his hand. He could just shoot him in the face.
It's kind of out of place, isn't it? We're just trying to establish that, like, look at, he's, I guess.
You know what I was kind of thinking? I was kind of thinking that he and the lady, if I'm rewriting this, he and the lady that get chewed down by the dogs, that they should have like ran off together, and maybe Bond like knocks out one of his, like the dog after him with his wrist start, and then the other lady gets it, you know, and so he's there and sees it, and then he bolts. Mm-hmm. As much as I love him killing the sniper,
he doesn't care about that lady anymore though, because he's already had it, you know.
Yeah, he's got the video or the photo footage. He can relive that anytime.
All the memories he needs.
It's
Bond does
Dakota.
Oh, that's. I mean, when we got to the 80s, why wasn't Bond taping all these women?
You want a Brian De Palma directed Bond?
Oh, well, he did Mission Impossible.
You're speaking Kron's language.
But I mean, if you get a horny Bond in there with BDP behind the camera.
All Bonds are horny, dude. Come on.
Not De Palma horny.
I think it would redefine horny Bond.
Bond does hop in a car and leave. Drax calls over Dufour. He's like, hey, you were with Bond in my study last night. You showed him my safe. You're fired. Effective immediately. Dufour starts to leave, but they bring those dogs up, and she's like, oh, fuck. She takes off running. Dogs chase her. She tries and tries, but they eventually fucking take her out.
Yeah, it takes about 5.5 minutes, but eventually they get to her.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautifully shot scene. Really is.
Guys, we cut over to Venice. And I don't want you to worry. This is 1979 Venice and not the hellscape it becomes in the year 2000. Make sure to check out 5-Day Rentals on Weekly Podcast Massacre discussing Shocking Dark.
Love you guys.
Bond strolls up to Vanini Glass. He joins in on the Glass Factory tour.
No, after walking in and that lady's just like, go wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And she lets him walk in.
All right, he's hanging out on this tour. He sees this lady giving him the eyes. Also, the tour guide is like, Drax Industries bought Vanini Glass. It's just a bunch of, partial exposition that explains these two things are linked up. Bond follows this hottie who's looking at him outside. Guys, it's Dr. Goodhead.
She's the one you call Dr. Goodhead.
He runs up. He's like, Dr. Goodhead, it feels so weird to call you that because you're a woman, It's fucking
you're
crazy.
Woman doctor.
I love tits, by the way, though. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just for the record.
I support all the things you guys are fighting for right now. I love tits.
Mm-hmm. That is how I feel.
Have you openly supported
I believe
this? Said it?
I believe that is your right. Okay? Just keep those thoughts out of the ballot box.
No.
Kron, you ever seen a tit you don't like?
I mean, pre-record, we were talking about Mae Young's appearances in WWF.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw her tits on a pay-per-view. I didn't much care for those.
Yeah, I've seen a few boobies and I'm like, ooh. All right.
Every once in a while, like you're on Pornhub and there's like a thumbnail with a grandma. That's kind of weird.
What's the algorithm throwing you, dude?
Grandma stuff, dude.
You never been out in the public and seen just a lady pop it out to like feed a baby or something, and you're like, oh.
Kron's mouth starts to water.
No.
Is the other one occupied?
Just one.
Let me balance you out.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I just looked over and I was like, oh my.
Yeah, you don't want to be walking away from this park lopsided.
That is not a pretty titty.
I don't think I've ever seen that in public, like a lady just breastfeeding.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
I'm just on the lookout for it.
Are you gonna feed that baby?
I put the fucking opera pins underneath my eyes when I go out in public.
I did go to one for my job, and I was doing my thing, and the lady said, "I'm gonna feed the baby," and I didn't think anything of it, like whatever. I thought it was kind of weird that she said that, but I continued to talk to who I needed to talk to, and all of a sudden she just like whips a titty out, and I'm like, whoa. And she's standing right in front of me, and I'm like, oh. It wasn't like a whoa, it was like a, oh, like, that's a titty. And her husband's like, does that offend you? And I was like, no, I just didn't know it was coming. Like, and she's like, well, I said I'm feeding the baby. And I'm like, all right. I mean, not my fault.
I assumed a bottle.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I didn't like put that together. Like, I'm fine. I just didn't know it was coming. It just came.
Okay, so you guys want me to be like the baby in this scenario, or?
Let me even you out. So ends up, I sucked a lot of milk out of that lady's tit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm lactose. So it hurt my fucking tummy.
I don't think there's lactose in breast milk.
It's milk.
Yeah, but is there lactose in it? Somebody look that up.
Yeah, let me fuck up my search history.
Let me
All right.
fuck up my Pornhub algorithm.
Bond starts hitting on Dr. Goodhead a little bit, and he's like, hey, how about tonight you and me get drinks? She's kind of like, I can't think of a good excuse, so she agrees.
Yes, breast milk contains lactose, a type of sugar that's the main carbohydrate in human milk. It's about 7 grams of lactose per 100 milliliters, which is more than cow's milk or other mammalian milks.
There you go. I was wrong.
She offered, and I was like, not my mother, not my milk.
Guys, Bond hops on a little boat through the canals. As he's cruising along, like a funeral boat pulls up next to him.
It's pretty sweet.
He's got a coffin on top. An assassin pops out of the coffin and starts slinging knives at Bond.
Two
Bond's
knives.
able-
This guy gets 2 knives off. He gets Bond's gondola driver, and then Bond dodges the second one, and then uses that second one, kill the guy.
Yeah.
What
The
a tease.
guy that walks on the bridge smoking the cigarette and looks at the coffin and is like, and like flicks his cigarette.
It's a sign from God, dude.
That's my review for this movie.
Wow. All right, after all that stuff happens, Bond finds some controls in the gondola. He hits one, a motor pops out. He starts hauling ass through the canals.
How shitty a Bond. This thing's mechanical, and he's still making this guy manually take him through.
You got to keep up appearances.
Okay.
Though.
Up
The
until
motor's
you get a
full-
knife thrown at you, and then you activate hovercraft mode.
Yeah, the motor is for when shit hits the fan, dude.
Roger Moore did nickname this the Bondola. That's what he called it.
I mean, when you're playing Metal Gear Solid, you put Snake in the corresponding camouflage to the environment he's in.
A cardboard box?
Sometimes.
They are so
Snake?
proud of the Vondolas. Is it Vondola?
It's a gondola.
Gondola, sorry. In
Gondola.
Venice, that they would not sell
Gondola.
anybody from the movie any of the new ones, so they had to have old ones and refinish them to actually make them work. So they spent a shit ton of money on trying to get these boats to work.
To
Hell
float?
yeah.
Float and run. They just had to use like old ass used ones that were not in use anymore.
Is that why they cut that one in half? The
Yeah.
couple making out on it?
That was probably one that they already fucked up.
They're very proud of him in Venice.
Why? Their city is sinking into the ocean.
But that's cool. That's the aesthetic, man.
It's full of pigeons. The water gets poisoned in the year 2000.
But they don't know that yet. We do.
It's a fucked
They
up
don't.
scenario over there. Okay, we got to chase through the canals, guys. Bond is in the first gondola. Behind him is Jaws shooting a machine gun or something.
No.
Oh, wait. Sorry, it's not Jaws yet. It's just
That's
some
the
rando.
second boat chase of the movie.
Yep, you're right. You're right. I got
It's the one
confused.
It's the one in Rio.
Mm-hmm. You're correct.
Actually, it's not Rio.
Where's that one?
That's up on the Amazon. That's northern Brazil.
Yeah, they're only in Rio for like 8
Yeah, the
minutes.
Rio is the cable car.
I thought Rio was where what's his name's hideout was.
No, it's up at the top of the map.
God damn it, dude.
All right, Bond gets to land. This goon has kind of got him cornered. But guys, Bond hits another switch. This fucking gondola has like a big skirt that shoots out under it. Some wheels pop out. He starts driving this thing through the streets of Venice. incredible.
Originally, they wrote it as a motorcycle.
So you guys saw this, and you saw a gondola form wheels and drive away, and you thought, fucking stupid.
No, I think, wow, this is getting a little out of hand when the scene continues for another 10 minutes as he continues through courtyards. The wino from Spy Who Loved Me makes another appearance. You get the pigeon double take.
I'm not saying you couldn't cut stuff from the movie.
Okay, yeah, but so when Bond's driving around in a moon buggy, it's out in the desert.
I think I like the gondola better.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Moon buggy's pretty fun.
It's made some Bond choices. Let's say that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we cut to Bond that night. He's sneaking around in a laboratory for some reason. He just kind of shows up there. I don't think there's been anything in the movie where they're like, hey, go check out the lab. Am I wrong? Did you guys, is there a fucking connective tissue?
The glass case. The is it like an octagon or a hexagon or something? That's how he puts that together, right?
But I think Kron's asking, there's nothing with the glass case that tells him, I need to go to this other lab.
How does he know to go to this specific lab at this specific place?
I just figured it was the glass, so.
All right, maybe.
Fuck, I don't know. Chalk that up to one of those, I've just seen it so many times, I've never focused or thought about it. Because by the time you get here, you're just stoked that he's going to accidentally kill two scientists.
Mm-hmm. These scientists leave for a bit, and Bond runs over to check out what they've been working on. He finds a vial of some serum and takes it, but he kind of casually puts the box of other vials precariously on a piece of equipment. Oh shit, the scientists are coming back. Bond runs and hides. These two guys go to move that piece of equipment, smash the vials on the ground. They give some crazy, Italian, Mamma Mia. They fucking grab their throats and choke to death.
I mean, shame on them for not wearing protective gear, right?
Yeah. If you're working around gas that can kill you in seconds.
It is a lab, yeah.
At least put your fucking collar up over your mouth,
These guys die. Bond walks outside, and wouldn't you know it, a fucking Bushido assassin is waiting for him.
But he notices that the rats don't die, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bushido assassin with a fucking kendo stick. Just don't get me wrong. That would fucking hurt.
It would annoy you at the very least.
So random.
These guys start fighting, and all the mayhem, Bond is able to get a sword. We get a real, clash of cultures here. The Bushido style, and Bond is kind of fencing this dude. They fight back and forth. In all of this, Bond notices a wooden box labeled Rio de Janeiro. Just hanging out there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Because usually, most warehouse layouts, the boxes are up on the top floor. You box stuff up and you take it all the way as far away from the ground floor as possible before you move it out.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe they built a big slide to move it from up top to down below.
Bond can't walk past a travel agency because he'll see Badlands and he'll be like, oh, I gotta go there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Eventually, these two, in all their fighting, Bond throws this guy out of a big window. He falls to his death.
It's a big clock.
Yeah. There's like an opera happening below.
Mm-hmm. Doc Brown's hanging out off the side.
Marty! Trying to get those two fucking things to go together.
Nerds.
All right, that night Bond goes to meet with Goodhead. He starts chatting her up. He's like, this chick's got all these fucking booby traps, poison needle pin, diary with a dart inside, perfume bottle that shoots fire. He's like, hey, you're not a fucking doctor.
And
I've been right the whole time.
The pièce de résistance is a purse with an antenna in it.
Mm-hmm. He says, you're the CIA mole in Drax's operation. I knew a lady couldn't be a doctor. They decide that they're going to pool their resources, go up against Drax together. They kind of seal the deal with a roll in the hay, guys. Cut to Venice the next morning. Bond has called in a bunch of, I don't like fucking M and shit, I guess, but that's who that old guy is.
Eminem?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the Minister of Defense.
He hands these guys gas masks. He's like, you gotta check out this fucking crazy lab I found. They throw the door open. It's just Drax. And like a big fucking study.
The whole plate of cucumber sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
So help me God, Bond, you're going to eat one of these. You defy my attempts to fill your belly.
Him and the other guy leave. They're like, this is fucking embarrassing. Bonds hands one of these guys the vial that he swiped, though.
It's M that he hands it to.
He says, you gotta get this thing back to Q. Have him check it out. I'm heading off to Rio. I got Q down. Why do they all have letter fucking names?
Just how it is, man.
Spycraft, baby.
Okay, what's Bond? Bond is 007?
Well, he's Commander Bond, but his...
Why'd he get 3 numbers instead of a letter?
Okay.
Why isn't he Zed?
That's just the way Fleming wrote it, okay?
Yeah.
We don't know.
I like the clear chain of command that's presented in the Mission Impossible series, dude.
Oh, yeah. That...
How many
talk about
rogue
fucking
titles are there?
Talk about fucking turnover, dude.
Mm-hmm. They gotta bring back, what's his name?
Anthony Hopkins?
No. The other one. Baldwin.
I don't think that's going to happen, dude.
They gotta bring him back.
Well,
He doesn't have a shot in hell.
well, I mean, he'd be coming back from the dead.
He could have been wearing like a fake face or something.
All the Baldwins are dead.
All right, we get this quick scene of Drax on the phone saying that, hey, we're going to need to replace Chaw. He's like, oh man, you're telling me that guy's available? And then we get this brief little scene of Jaws boarding a plane to Rio. And guys, I think it's time for us to go piss into the humidifier. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the 5-Day Rentals podcast. If you're just now joining us,
Was it me?
Bond has snooped out that fake lady doctor and is headed off to Rio.
Oh, I'm scrambling here.
This is normally...
No, we're not doing that, Kron. It's the Hustler Minute.
Oh.
Hey.
All right, here she is. She was on top. Guys, what luck. This week I bring you Corinne.
Whoa.
My.
Could she look less like a helicopter pilot?
Very oily.
She is got two hands on something.
All right. Let's get some statistics. 34, 23, 34, 5'5", 109 pounds. Born 1973. Hustler layout, February 1992. Corinne is a 19-year-old transfer student at the University of New Mexico who missed most of her classes during the first semester. Quote, the only thing I learned so far is that sunbathing beats the hell out of trigonometry. End quote.
You're going to get expelled.
Get your shit right, girl.
You can't just not show up to class, you idiot.
She does like to sunbathe, I'll say that.
Yep. Ain't no
Corinne.
tan lines on Korean.
Corinne, you beautiful, stupid goddess.
For explicit one-on-one with other girls, call 1-800-775-5885.
All right, guys. Bond arrives at Rio. Hot lady is following him oh, shit. What the fuck? Hot lady is following him in a car. Her name is Manuela. When Bond arrives at the hotel, she starts making him a martini. Shaken, not stirred. Whoa. Classic Bond stuff, huh?
Yeah, we're Bond guys. We know that, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in every movie, Bones?
Pretty much.
She's British intelligence, and she's kind of been sent there to be like Bond's point person on the Rio mission, I guess.
Has anybody had a martini?
Yeah, I've had a martini before.
I don't think I've ever had one.
It's
Bones?
okay.
I've tried one. I wasn't too keen on it. I'm more of a fiend for mojitos.
Nice. You penguin motherfucker.
Martini is like olive juice and fucking vodka.
I like olives.
I mean,
You like
might
olives
like
but not
it.
cucumbers?
Yeah. I like mojitos more, though.
I mean, you might like it, dude. If you like olives, you might like it.
Yeah. Do a
You
martini
guys don't
next
like
week,
olives?
dude. No.
They're okay. I don't want to drink one.
I love, like, green olives, yeah.
So this week, the Batman Resurrection novel came out, which is a continuation of Batman 89. So it takes place between Batman 89 and Returns.
Sweet.
And it's pretty good so far. I'd say I'm more than halfway. Pretty good.
It's a comic?
Oh, it's a novel. I'm listening to the audiobook.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'll send you a link to it if you
shoot.
think about it.
I would check that out. Shoot me a link.
It's pretty good. So, and it continuing sort of like in that Burton Gotham, it branches out and touches on a bunch of stuff. But they mentioned that like the local pizza place, they have a special pizza that is just black olives in the shape of a bat. And I was like,
yeah.
I get it, because that's like the most black fucking pizza topping. But I'd be kind of annoyed. I'm like, can I get that in like jalapenos?
I feel like you would also get, like, there would be a slice, right, that just had like a little line of olives through like the bottom third of it.
Yeah.
Just one. Yeah.
And then you'd get one slice where they're like all by the crust, but there's a shitload of them.
Mm-hmm. And it's unclear if it was a bat, like the Batman symbol, or like an actual bat. It would make sense for it to be like the same symbol as the light.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing.
So it'd be the more rounder one.
Yeah. Kind of like the the bat plane at the end.
I'm doing Salem's Lot. So.
When it goes up across the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Salem's Lot's good. I read that a while ago.
Yeah, my whole spooky season is all fucked, man.
Bond is
I had every intention of doing like, I'm going to do Wolfman stuff this Halloween, and I'm just like watching Bonds. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bond's fucked my October up. Usually October's all horror. And I'm just like, oh, maybe I should watch Live and Let Die.
I started, after I finished Moonraker, I started the Tom Savini Night of the Living Dead.
I watched that for my horror drafts, yeah.
It's all right. I guess I only made it 40 minutes in, and I thought it would be like more fucking splattery. Like
it being Tom Savini.
Yeah. And it's like the zombies look good in it, but I expected somebody's head to fucking blow up in the first 3 minutes, you know?
It's not bad.
All right, Bond says he wants to check out this place called C&W Importers. It's owned by Drax.
He's going to CBGB's? Holy shit. You fucking watching Motorhead tonight, Bond?
Saw the fucking Ramones there, dude.
What if fucking Motorhead did a fucking Bond song? Oh shit, dude. I just got hard.
We cut over to that evening. Bond is snooping around inside C&W Importers, but there's not fucking jack shit to see there. He just finds like one little patch. That's it. Outside, Manuela is kind of like standing guard, and this big fucking Rio Carnival clown is like walking up on her.
You loved this, didn't you, Kron?
I kind of loved it, yeah. That clown takes his big head off, and what do you know, it's Jaws under there. He goes to chomp Manuela, but all these like Carnival revelers come by and break it up.
Does Jaws look like stretched out Robert Pattinson to you guys?
I mean, I can see that.
Damn, you're making these good connections this movie. The Peter Dinklage thing, that. Mm-hmm. I could see both of them.
Every time I see Jaws in this, I just get angry.
He's having so much fun in this. He's on the verge of smiling every scene.
He hated it, dude. He fucking hated it.
Really? Was it the teeth? Or he just...
No, it was just a script. He was like, this is not what it is.
You're fucking up my character.
Next day, Bond is watching a bunch of Drax planes take off. He's looking through a telescope, kind of like moves it across the horizon. When do you know it? Dr. Goodhead is at another telescope watching Bond.
Did she say doctor, dude?
Doctor's supposed to look through microscopes, not telescopes.
Mm-hmm. They kind of go up and start talking to each other. Bond says Drax is clearing out operations. Holly's like, where to?
Well, he's like, yeah, they're clearing out. And she's like, yeah, those planes keep taking off. They've been taking off every 2 hours since I've been up here. How long has she been up there?
3 days.
At least 2 hours, right? But I don't know. It takes 2 hours to load an airplane, get it off the runway.
Yeah, it seems
it's
like he'd be having these things every 15 minutes.
Yeah, dude.
Rolling out of there.
Go to a fucking FedEx hub, buddy.
Show you how it's done.
Bond and Goodhead, they get on board a funicular.
I'm
What do you think
impressed.
of
Is that the real word?
Yeah.
I'm impressed, dude.
Nice.
I learned that when we went to Italy, because they have them, like those little cable cars.
Mm-hmm.
And people kept being like, you can take the funicular. I was like, the fuck is some Italian word I don't know?
Were they really particular about what funicular they would ride?
No, I don't think so. It's just like, where we were in the South, and there's like, it's a fucking coast, but it goes up this huge mountain, and it'll
Right.
like take you up and down.
Yeah, Brewster's Millions over here.
Yeah.
I don't think the funicular is like a fucking fancy. I think it's a means to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
You're okay.
It's a good thing
Sure.
Jaws doesn't get charged with vehicular or funicular manslaughter.
It's a good point. All right, they start going up the mountain.
Good night, folks.
Headed the opposite direction is Jaws in another cable car.
After he bites through the cable.
Mm-hmm.
I do like how he slows down the wheel and then lets go of it, and then it goes again, and he has to like, are you going to stay before I bite?
Mm-hmm.
Just shoot him when he gets off. God damn it.
I mean, that's every Bond movie.
His name is
Just
Jaws.
shoot it. Just fucking shoot him.
He bites people.
He did kill a tiger shark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, he fucking kills a shark in Spy Who Loved Me.
Well, Bond kills a snake in this movie. Fucking python.
With a poison pen. Not with his damn mouth.
Yeah, he bites the tiger shark.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Seriously, him ripping apart the van in Spy Who
Did you-
Loved Me is fucking terrifying. And
Kron,
funny
how
at
did
the
you
same time.
not
It's crazy.
watch?
I didn't have
Spy
time,
Loves
dude.
Me.
I got back on Tuesday. I had to get this done in 2 days.
All right.
I'll watch it later.
Nope. No, you won't.
I'm not gonna die. I've got time. But I won't get to watch it this week because I gotta watch Dan's movie.
It's the fucking Spy Who Loved Me.
All right. All right, so Jaws jumps over to their fucking cable car. They wrestle around for a bit.
God
They
damn.
throw-
This jump, dude. The cut. It's so hard to try to describe just via audio, especially me, how awful I am trying to describe the cut of. Okay. They show the intention of Jaws, like he's planning to jump, and then he lifts his hands up, and then they cut to him. It's Mega Ape level. Like they just clicked the icon of Jaws and drug him across. And it's a quick 2 or 3 frames, and then he's on the other, what do you call it? Funicular?
Yeah, funicular.
Oh my God. It's like after the incredible editing on that opening parachute sequence. You're like, okay. It's like when I edit this podcast and I put a shit ton of effort in the cold open, and later in the episode I just leave in all of Dan's like mic hits and stuff. I'm just like, who cares?
I don't. Kron's the one that hits the mic.
Run the audio back. Let's see. All right, so they're wrestling around. They kind of throw Jaws below. They lock the little door up to the top. Bond and his lady, they grab a big piece of chain, like zip line down this thing. Jaws is able, he's got like a henchman on the other side. But they get his car going fast as shit after Bond. At the very last second, Bond and his lady, they drop down to the ground when they're fucking low enough to it. But Jaws, he can't stop. He
Won't
just
stop.
goes through the fucking side of this building.
Through like 3 or 4 7-Up signs.
Mm-hmm.
Which continues the theme from The Spy Who Loves Me.
Mm-hmm.
But
So Jaws gets up. After this wreckage, he starts dusting himself off. Very juggy, like Swedish lady runs up, helps him out. And guys, it's love at first sight. These two lock eyes. They start holding hands, walk off together. I love that they included this.
This was the thing I was mentioning earlier about like the Mandela effect or Mandela effect, where people like collectively assume something or remember something different. Most people will tell you, oh, that chick has braces.
she's
I guess
not.
Yep.
I guess it would make sense if she did, because Jaws has all that metal in his mouth.
It's like of all of the jokes that we would have like accepted, it like writes itself.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sweet nonetheless.
I didn't think she had braces.
I wasn't looking at her teeth.
Well, you just watched it for the first time.
But I did read that, and I was like, I really didn't.
But if
They say they disappear, like, later on. Like, they think she has braces here, but, like, in the space station, they realize that she doesn't.
I just
I mean,
think
there
it's a thing where in the 90s somebody would have said like, oh, it's like that scene in Moonraker when Joss meets that chick and she's got braces. Like what were you going to say, Kron?
I mean, I felt like there is something, I don't know, it's just like a camera thing. I feel like there's something shiny in her mouth at least.
Okay, well, we can't change it.
I'll pull a still later. Back over to Bond. Holly gives him a kiss. He's like, what was that for? She says, saving my life. He says, well, I'll have to do that more often. They start making out some more. Some paramedics just roll up on these two. Bond says, no thanks, we're all right, actually. But this guy just, like, one of the paramedics knocks Bond out.
Mm-hmm.
I guess these are bad guy Drax paramedics.
Yeah.
We get this brief scene here. They've got Bond and Holly in an ambulance. Bond is able to, like, get himself out of his restraints. He starts fighting this paramedic. And eventually,
This paramedic puts up a decent fight, man.
mm-hmm. Well, he's a Drax goon.
Okay.
So he's been probably trained by Chaw.
Plus, it's like tight spaces, and Roger Moore requires, 4 square yards in order to throw a punch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unlike Connery, who gave himself away by smashing the glass in that elevator.
Yeah, but that's called conflict. That's tension.
Okay.
Back of an ambulance is bigger than an elevator.
You can't argue with them on that one, Kron.
Yeah, but they got shit everywhere. I would say the workable space of an elevator might be bigger than an ambulance.
Where you would be throwing a punch from?
Yeah.
If you were arguing kicks, I would say yeah, but
Yeah, you also got to think 71 elevator size.
Wait, if you got enough room to throw a kick, you got more than enough room to punch somebody.
what I'm saying is the opposite. There's like
Yeah,
stuff
I
at
think
the
that's why we don't agree.
no. Oh, wait. God damn it. I'm trying to be partisan here. There's stuff in the way to throw a kick in the ambulance. But as far as a punch is concerned, there's more room.
Maybe. Dan, get your tape measure.
Got it.
I'll bring my ambulance.
I'll bring my elevator. I'll measure the one at work.
What are you doing?
Working, idiot.
Go back to your desk.
All right, Bond gets out of the ambulance, but Holly, she gets taken away. He doesn't rescue her. Guys, we cut to this scene of Bond dressed up like Clint Eastwood in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. He comes fucking riding over this hill. Some Western music playing.
It's the theme of the
Magnificent Seven.
It is the theme.
He reaches a monastery. This is where British intelligence sets up. M is there.
Who else?
Q.
One more.
And?
Moneypenny.
There you go.
All of our crew.
Bond, dude.
Shouldn't she be?
This dude's a
she
fucking
should be
Bond guy now, dude.
She should be M. Moneypenny.
Why?
Moneypenny. M. Starts with an M.
But her name's Moneypenny.
Yeah, but she's in the fucking service. She should get a letter.
Okay.
It's S.
That's how it works.
Secretary.
We get some great Q gadgets and gizmos on display here. There is a bolo that explodes a man's head. There's a fake sleeping guy where a machine gun pops out and starts shooting.
That's my favorite.
Then we get a brief shot of a Star Wars laser gun being fired. Bloop, 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 bloop.
I like the sound of the lasers. They're corny, but they're fun.
Hey, this was nominated for an Academy Award for its special effects.
And first for Dolby? First Bond with Dolby sound, I think.
Can you guys guess the movie that won the Academy Award that year?
1979.
Alien.
That's correct.
Good job, Kron.
I mean, can't beat Alien in 79, dude.
I'm embarrassed to admit that it would have taken me a minute to think what else came out in 1979.
I don't know if I
didn't
name
have
another
Alien
movie.
Prime.
Q says, hey, I ran the analysis on that vial you got from Venice. Deadly to humans, does nothing at all to animals. It's made from a rare orchid from the Amazon. And guess who we're sending to research it? Cut to Bond in the
001.
Amazon. I guess there are double O's, because that guy at the beginning of GoldenEye.
Mm-hmm. And Living Daylights opens up with a joint training with other double O's. And I can't remember if it's Thunderball or You Only Live Twice. I think it might be Thunderball, where 007's like late to a meeting and you see like all the other double O's sat around.
How many are there?
7.
I guess you could only have 9, right?
Yeah. I thought there were only 9. I don't know. Thought there were only 9.
I guess you could have 10 if there's a 000.
Yeah. Octopussy opens with one of them getting killed. Yeah. Throughout the series, they mention other ones.
Bond is in the Amazon. He's pulling up in a little boat.
He's got
but he comes
an early thunder.
Mm-hmm. He comes under some heavy fire, but luckily his boat's outfitted with these like exploding phantasm balls that he releases into the water.
Mm-hmm.
He starts taking these goons out left and right.
You know what it's missing, though? Fucking hyperspeed.
Hyperspeed? Really could have come in handy in this scene, too.
Or a laser.
Yeah. Or stealth technology.
What was that boat like? Entering hyperspeed.
Mm-hmm.
How can you forget?
It's so long ago.
22 episodes.
They should reboot
Thunder
it.
in Paradise.
Bring it back.
Check it out. We covered all of them. 5-day rentals.
Let Hulk write it.
No, he doesn't need to write anything right now. He needs to write his life.
Remember when he was Christian for like 2 weeks and then he...
I think he's back to being Christian.
Christian and a Trump guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't he like slinging beer at Walmarts too?
You can love the Lord and throwing a few back.
He was here for like 2 days, I think. About 30 minutes from me.
Dan, can you speak into the mic?
No.
Why didn't you go see him?
I can't support him anymore.
You could have got him to sign the hard drive that holds all the Thunder in Paradise files.
He would sue us for that.
I don't think he could.
I think it would.
He'd give you a hard time, but you'd be like, fucking get a goddamn Blu-ray out already, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Physical media man would flooze his fucking larynx, dude.
Another boat pulls up. This one does have Jaws on it. Not the gondola from earlier. Bond gets his boat up to full speed, but he's approaching a giant waterfall. He hits a button, a little glider pops out of his boat, and he just flies off.
Puts on a helmet.
Mm-hmm. Safety first.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Bond arrives at Drax's Amazon operation, and it is full of hot-ass women.
Of boxes that he needs to get delivered.
He's admiring the view, but they hit a button, and like a little fake rock throws him into a pond.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, he's got to fight a giant fucking anaconda. He's able to stab this thing with a little dart. What, you don't like the anaconda fight?
love it. I can't deny that I love it.
It's not a bad fight, I guess. Clearly, it looks like they used maybe a real python and then like a fake anaconda.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There are at times when the snake does not look the same.
There are shots where it's clearly a man fighting a puppet snake.
Kron was loving this.
I mean, is this a secret puppet Bond movie?
You would be the guy to find it.
I mean, a few weeks ago, Dan would have argued yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so tired of arguing and talking.
Yeah,
about puppets.
it had died. We had internal conversations about
there's
not
just
bringing
a
it up,
certain-
and then
There's a certain someone that just will not stop. And she knows who she is. She knows who he is.
All right, when Bond comes out of the pond, Jaws is there waiting for him. Drax shows up and he's all like, "Hey, Bond, why don't you come check out my entire operation in here?" I'm not going to shoot you in the head, but
You defy
you
my attempts to plan an amusing death for you. Is a good line.
Drax starts showing Bond around. He's like, check out this fucking orchid I've got in an orb. He's like, this is the key to everything. I have developed this plant to be an insta-kill. Drax is also in the process of launching several Moonrakers into orbit.
What do you think about the set, Dan?
Yeah, it looks great.
It's dope as hell, right?
Yeah. One of the shining moments of Moonraker.
Bond is all kind of like, what the fuck, dude? Why'd you give a Moonraker to the U.S. just to steal it back? And Drax is honestly kind of just like, I'm a bad guy. I do bad guy stuff.
Well, actually, I think he says one of my other ones had a production issue, so I needed that one back.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also a bad guy.
You already gave it away.
Give it away now.
If I gave you guys hustler cards and then took them back, you'd say that was a bad thing to do.
What I got, you got to give it to the British.
If you took the hustler cards back, it would be a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be down here jerking off every night.
Well, and the show wouldn't fall flat for 3 minutes every episode.
People want to see them. People are asking us to post them in the Discord.
They are?
Yeah.
That's not our responsibility.
Yeah,
Sorry.
We want people to go out and support physical media and order these hustler cards themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, support these women. You're buying them hot meals
that are all now 60, 70 years old.
Clean bed sheets.
Supplement their Medicare.
Season 3, they all might guest on the show.
Oh.
I'm just waiting for some emails.
All right, Jaws takes Bond down to a holding area. When do you know it? Ollie Goodhead is there.
Oh.
But oh shit, they are exactly where Moonraker 5 is about to take off. So once this thing goes up, it's going to shoot flames down to where they are.
That'd be a pretty badass death, right? Be burnt up.
You'd probably go pretty quick, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
You'd be like vaporized. We do see Drax boarding Moonraker 5. Bond thinks pretty quick. He pulls out a little fishing line from his watch.
Yeah, I guess he had that too.
Mm-hmm. That just is like standard issue shit for these guys.
Oh, okay.
But he kind of hooks it through a vent. They pop it open, crawl inside. Bond and Holly sneak around. Eventually, they find their way onto Moonraker 6, which is taking off.
Okay.
How many of these fucking things Drax got?
I think
like 5 or 6.
I think 6. All right, while they're sneaking around, there's guys driving those little yellow carts around that are moving people and moving the boxes. Those boxes are obviously made of styrofoam or some shit and are super light. But there's a shot of an extra who lifts one up and he's really trying to sell that it's not heavy or that it is heavy. And me and Sam backed it up like 4 or 5 times because like it's that thing of like, oh, you think this suitcase is full and you pull too hard and you like almost fall over. He sort of does that to get it up on his shoulder and it like moves too quick. And then he sort of oversells it that it's heavy. Fucking incredible.
Hell yeah.
Sorry. Just look out for that.
I didn't notice it.
It's just like an issue I have with it is that Ken Adams set is so cool that I wish you spent a little bit more time in it. I wish he would have had to go back into that or something. Like, you can't knock it. The movie cost like $32 million at the time. And it's awesome that they built that.
Finished it there?
What?
Yeah.
Didn't you want to get into the space shit, dude? What are you talking about?
I think you got to go to space. I think you set out to go to space. You got to go to space. I just think maybe you get here quicker.
I think you could cut the Rio part of the movie out completely. Just go from Venice to the Amazon to space.
Yeah. You could have cut when they are knocked out and they're in the ambulance, they wake up and they're there,
Yeah, that would work too.
But I do appreciate the fact that you get another boat chase with a gadgeted out thunder and anaconda fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's the shit that I want. So it's the dichotomy. That's the eternal struggle of the Bond franchise.
All right, guys, we enter orbit. Finally, we have Bond in space. They finally see what Drax has been working on. He's building an entire city in outer space.
Okay, guys.
Undetectable by radar.
We got to talk about the acting of Zero G in this space shuttle. The fact that they are moving slow. I recognize that it is hypocritical to laugh and love the guys in training in Diamonds Are Forever that are moving slow. So I'm not going to knock them that they are moving slow in this to like touch buttons, and even Bond like slowly bringing up his hand to point like, what's that? But then when they show the cargo of like, all the perfect human specimens in the back and nobody's hair is floating.
Right.
My fucking favorite part of this movie on my 2 rewatches this week, they show that Dr. Goodhead is filling out something on a clipboard. Like she's still doing science and like, what would she be like? What is she logging?
Well, she can't.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know how advanced the computers are in 79.
So,
like, could you?
It's the whole plan. She even says like, we're on a court. Like, I don't have to touch anything. It's like automated.
Mm-hmm.
But they cut to her with like a clipboard, and she slowly grabs a pencil and she starts
Captain's log.
She starts logging. Why? What is she tracking?
I mean, the CIA probably wants a report when this is all over.
I don't know why it's so fucking funny. Why she's like, I'm such an astronaut. Like, I know I'm supposed to like log a trajectory or something. Who gives a fuck? You're going to blow this whole thing up.
Well, they don't. Is that the plan at the time?
No, not really.
Okay, sorry if I stole a tractor trailer because I was like running from the cops, I wouldn't like look and check like the bill of material, like, or bill of lading, like, oh shit, I got deliveries. I know it's just to give them something to do, right? To sell the effect of like, oh, this pencil's floating, let me grab this or whatever. But
yeah,
it could have just been like, oh, her necklace lifted or something. Who just thought, well, she's such a doctor, dude. She's going to want to notate.
Roger Moore just becomes so much more astronaut as this goes on. Like, he just knows shit. It's like, how the fuck do you know that?
Now, that being said, there's a zero G part where like all the extras, like when they turn off gravity later and they're all kind of floating around, I was like, that looks pretty cool. Like those big wide shots.
Look cooler with some alien blood in it.
They're probably pretty bummed out that all their clipboards floated away, though. It's going to be a mess trying to sort out whose clipboard is whose.
I don't know. It just, what's the Kramer's bus story on Seinfeld? You kept making all the stops?
Yeah. All right, Bond and Holly are in Drax's space headquarters. We finally get this guy's ultimate plan. He's going to build like a race of superhumans, wipe out the current population of the Earth, and then have all these people go back down there when it's habitable again.
If you're standing there and you've been selected as a candidate for, you know, the initial seed of what is to become a super race of humans, right? Because of your perfect genetic makeup and your physical abilities or whatever, and you're standing there and fucking dopey ass Drax is talking about being the leader of the super race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, well, this is clearly
a little bit, right?
This is clearly day one. I think day 3, there's a mutiny where one of these buff dudes takes Drax out.
Why the fuck would you let Jaws and his lady come on? He is not a genetic perfection.
You still
What do
need
you
your
mean, dude?
henchmen. I mean, you still need your henchmen there.
I'm sure it's part of the deal, right?
In case one of these buff boys comes after you.
Oh, fair enough. Good point, Kron. And quite honestly, I think his chick is the best looking lady on the...
Jaws is?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Some of those
Gotta think
ladies
for
look
braces.
fucking odd, dude.
I mean, this is a high life experience. I don't know if any of you seen High Life.
No.
You should watch
No.
it. But they is gonna be fucking each other. You know what I'm saying? That's a space orgy.
Yeah. And where was the Dr. Strangelove logic of like, well, there should be 10 women for every man?
Dan, why didn't you just say it's going to be a supernova? All those people were up there fucking, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
There's only like, I guess there was some fucking, yeah.
But if this movie was made today, we would at least get, because I buy the super intelligence aspect, right, of Drax. That's why he's superior or whatever, or thinks he's superior. But he should also be way more physically fit, right?
Yeah.
Like how, you know, Bezos is all buff and shit now that he's rich. Like whoever they cast to play Drax would be 6 foot and fucking ripped, and there'd be a part with his shirt off, you know?
The Rock.
Eh. Be like Benedict Cumberbatch or some shit, you know?
Who's the guy that plays the Hulk?
Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah. You have Ruffalo out there. He kind of buffed up for the Marvel movies, right?
Nah, not really.
I'd take
Right.
him in Foxcatcher.
Yeah, he's got legit like wrestler stance and Foxcatcher. Channing Tatum too.
His walk deserved an Oscar.
All right, so
All right.
I'm creating a super race of humans, okay?
All right.
You don't have to join if you don't want to.
Okay.
Bond says, hey, if they could see this fucking space shit from Earth, they would send someone up to investigate.
There's always
got-
Marines on standby.
Mm-hmm. We've got to turn off radar jamming. They start searching around and find it. There's 2 guys that are down there manning the radar station that don't even blink an eye when 2 people come down there.
Mm-hmm.
Bond and Holly attack these 2 and shut off the radar jammer.
This this is really where you see Roger Moore needing real estate for a swing, dude.
I mean, I get it, but Connery did the same thing. He fucking broke that glass in the elevator.
I would bet on Connery any day in a fight over Moore. Any day.
All right, guys, they succeed in taking out the radar jammer, but Jaws has found them. Bond tries to fight him. He knees him in the crotch, which makes a ping noise.
Mm-hmm.
You got a metal dick, too?
Yeah, maybe.
Joss?
Joe's?
Is that canon, Bones? Does it, like, in the Bond universe, does everyone know that his dick and balls are also metal?
They fucked up. It's his extra set of metal teeth that are in his pocket.
Okay.
He's the only henchman to be featured twice, ever.
Oh, wait, he's a secret good guy in this one.
And that is because fan mail from children who love Jaws and they wanted him to be a good guy instead of a bad guy.
That's because Keel's got that stretched out Robert Pattinson. You can't help but love him, you know?
Grizzly Adams did have a beard.
All right, guys. Drax gets informed that on Earth they're launching an unscheduled shuttle. He's like, oh, fuck, check out the radar jammer. This one guy's like, it's down. Drax is like, God damn it, Bond. Jaws brings him in. All the while, Drax is watching like these little pods shooting out of the fucking space station. He starts explaining these pods, they're full of death gas. Drax is going to release all the gas at once. It'll wipe out Earth, and then he'll repopulate it with his pure humans.
Why didn't he just plant them around the Earth and
That'd take way too long, dude.
and then activate them?
Oh, the pods? I thought you meant the sexy people. I'll put 2 in each country, and 100 million years from now.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It just seems like unsafe to bring that toxic gas up to your spaceship, right? You could have just left them on the planet and activated them once you guys were in orbit.
I guess that's the easiest way to get it into the atmosphere, though, is like drop it down.
Yeah,
I think
it makes sense. I'm
taking that ride on Drax's.
Well, have you proven
Moonraker.
yourself to be a perfect specimen?
Yeah, I think he'd choose me.
I think they're all blonde up there.
I got blue eyes. I could dye my hair.
Your roots are going to show 2 weeks later.
I'm already in. What are they going to do?
Throw you out.
Nah.
Which is what is happening in the plot right now. Drax says, I'm going to throw you two out into space. But Bond, he's all like, it's a good plan. But I guess anyone who isn't pure in your eyes, they're not going to make the cut back to go to Earth. Back behind him, Jaws, he kind of looks over to his girlfriend. He's like, what? I think they're talking about me, not you, because you're beautiful as hell. Drax starts commanding Jaws to shoot Bond and Goodhead out into space.
You obey me.
But Jaws turns around. He attacks
Sucking the chrome off this.
one of Drax's goons. All right, guys, the plan is all fucked up now. U.S. spacecraft will be at the space station in 3 minutes. Drax says prepare the lasers. As the NASA craft is coming in, Bond goes over and hits a thruster button. This causes the craft to stop rotating, and it turns off the Earth gravity system. A bunch of Drax goons roll out of the spacecraft, but a bunch of NASA guys are coming in. We get a full-blown laser fight here.
Fucking space shuttle opens like a fucking kid's G.I. Joe toy.
What, like it bends at the waist and like a...
Well, I get that the bag of the space shuttle opens like that for them to be able to get the cargo and the arms or whatever out. But the fact that it opens and then all these fucking space marines pop out, it's pretty damn cool.
With all this chaos going on, the NASA guys dock to the Drax craft. They storm in and they just start laying waste to anyone they can see. Eventually, they run up on Bond and Goodhead and Jaws, and they're like, "Don't shoot. We're on your side, even though we're dressed like the other people."
Somebody else should have tried that first.
Mm-hmm. I would try it minute 1 of the invasion. Bond eventually corners Drax, but when you know it, Drax has a laser pistol. He tells Bond, I'm going to put you out of your misery. He goes to shoot Bond, but Bond fires one of those little darts at Drax.
I'm going to put you out of my misery?
Oh, yeah, out of my misery. You're right. I guess he shoots him right in the heart, and then he opens up the space door, and Drax fucking floats away.
He says, "Why don't you take a step back for mankind?"
Mm-hmm.
Pushes him into the airlock.
Got his ass.
What's that?
So got his ass.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys, here we are. Drax is done, but he still launched off 3 of those poison capsules.
You know what? I think they would have won the Oscar if Bond was in really ill-fitting underwear when he blew Drax out the airlock.
The same ones that
Ripley's wearing. Yeah.
Oh, at first I thought you were doing a Running Man reference.
No. Dude, the fit in Running Man is perfect.
On fucking, what's that guy's name? I'm talking about the guy with wet underwear at the end of the movie.
Oh, Dynamo?
Yeah, Dynamo.
It's a good guy.
See what you... Hey, I hate Dynamo, but his underwear fit better than Ripley's.
Let's see. Okay, he still launched out 3 of those poison capsules, and Bond says that's enough poison to kill millions of people on Earth. The NASA guys just fuck off. They're like, we were only here to kill all these people. Good luck on the rest of your mission.
We're only here to see if these lasers actually worked.
So Bond and Holly, they take off on a little craft. They're going to try to go shoot these things down.
They take Drax's shuttle because it has a laser on it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he's got to have the best shuttle.
Yeah. I mean, he's, king among the superior people.
Mm-hmm.
Down below, Jaws and his lady, these two embrace. They find a bottle of champagne and enjoy their last moments before they disintegrate.
Well, here's to us. Great voice on him, too, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's I like that he doesn't talk throughout the movies, but sweet pipes.
Moonraker 5 is unable to take off, so Jaws runs over, bends a piece of metal. Boom. They get out of there.
His lady has to whisper to him even though nobody else is around.
Maybe that's what he likes.
Oh,
Dude,
fuck. I don't dig that ASMR shit.
I kind of get it. Like, the baby sleeps upstairs now, and sometimes I forget, and we're downstairs, and I'm like, did you put the bottles away? Because you're just so used to it at this point.
Oh, man. My wife is a just natural quiet talker. And it's the complete opposite of ASMR. Drives me fucking crazy. Why are you whispering?
All right, guys, they take off. They're going to go shoot down these pods. They get the first two from like the Craft's automatic targeting system,
Mm-hmm.
but it starts to fail as they enter Earth's atmosphere. And Holly's like, use the Force, Luke. So he does. He goes to manual mode. He finally shoots this thing down. Let's see. We cut over to Earth. They try to contact Goodhead and Bond, but they're a little busy celebrating a successful mission. They turn on a little live stream to Buckingham Palace and the White House. M is like, what the fuck is Bond doing? And this guy goes, I think he's attempting re-entry, sir.
What guy?
Q.
There you go.
Bond looks at the monitor, smiles, and shuts it off. Him and Holly get back to it. Roll the credits. That was Moonraker from 1979, directed by Lewis Gilbert. Dan, hit me with all that research.
Moonraker 1979 was released June 26th of 1979. Had a budget of $34 million. Took in a box office of over $210 million. At the cinema that week, you could also catch Meatballs with Bill Murray.
Hell yeah.
The week
It
before
just
that
doesn't matter.
The week before that was, of course, the Oscar winner, Alien, and Escape from Alcatraz.
Whoa. A Clint Eastwood movie.
We did touch on the opening credits. Was all free fall with the stuntmen there. Never done before. Above its time or beyond its time.
Before
its time. There we go. One of those. They did have to build the equipment here to get the shots in. So we got that. Looks good. Cost of this movie was $34 million, nearly half as much as the first 8 films combined without taking into account of inflation. So this was an expensive one.
Worth it.
For the fight between Bond and Chang, this movie at the time used the largest amount of breakaway sugar glass in a single scene. All right. Broccoli did call Mr. Steven Spielberg requesting permission to use the 5-note opening of Close Encounters of the Third Kind from 1977. That's what Bond is pushing into that keypad.
Mm-hmm.
Broccoli wanted to use it as the entry code for the laboratory. Several years later, Spielberg later called Broccoli requesting permission to use the 007 theme for a scene while he was producing The Goonies from 1985. Broccoli pointed out that there were more than 5 notes in the 007 theme. Spielberg got kind of pissed off at this.
Rightfully fucking so.
What a fucking asshole move, dude.
I guess they did kind of argue back and forth about this. He was right, though, so Spielberg didn't use it. The Steven Spielberg and Broccoli connection has another twist. Spielberg was interested in doing a Bond and was negotiating with Broccoli to do a Bond until Mr. George Lucas offered him a script for Raiders of the Lost Ark in 1981. Basically a character like Bond, and he chose to do Jesus Christ.
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. Fuck. These are 7%ers. Okay, leave me alone. All right, and the novel, Ian
007
Fleming.
percenters? Hell yeah.
007 percenters. Ian Fleming stated that when Bond reaches the age of 45, he will automatically be taken off the 00 list and given a staff job at headquarters. Sir Roger Moore was 45 when he portrayed James Bond in Live or Let Die in 1973. Ian Fleming did. This was the only one that he wrote a script for. I guess they found this out later on. Some rich person did end up purchasing this script, and there are quite a few differences in it. You could look that up online. I'm not going to go out on that. In addition to being offered the chance to perform the title song, Frank Sinatra was also offered the role of Hugo Drax, but didn't take it.
Rake me to the moon.
That's all I got, gentlemen, for a punt for the research for Moonraker from 1977, directed by Mr. Lewis Gilbert.
You see me and my buddies, we ride bikes, we live by our own code, we're the 7%ers.
Rate my box!
Thank you, Dan.
Should maybe 5%.
At the time of this review, Moonraker has a 2.8 on Letterboxd. Kron, Dan and I both locked you in at a 3.0. Dan, I'm going to give you a 2.5.
Bones, I am going to do the same and do a 2.5 for you as well.
Yeah, I'll give you both 2.5s.
I can kick this off. I said earlier in the episode, this is probably my least watched Bond film. I would say that it's down there with Spectre, Man with a Golden Gun. In a way, there's Thunderball elements in terms of it just sort of ends in long, drawn-out sequences. I will say that there's portions of Thunderball that are a little bit more boring, but overall, Thunderball's a better movie. Dr. Goodhead is about as interesting as Dry Toast. I don't know if that's writing or performance, probably a combination of the two. Definitely my most forgettable Bond lady. I do think that Roger Moore is pretty comfortable and relaxed in the role by this point. As far as rest of the supporting cast, they're serviceable. You are seeing the age on Bernard Lee. You're starting to see Lois Maxwell kind of checked out. Desmond is from day one never knows his lines and is reading off of a cue card. There's a few times in this where you can see his eyes drifting. Doing a Christopher Walken on SNL, trying to keep up with what he's supposed to say. For the most part, gadgetry. I don't dislike the wrist dart gun. I just think it's a little bit of a bummer how intermittent he uses it. You know, I would have maybe preferred, oh, hey, here's an attachment on your watch and you get a few shots. And then maybe throughout the movie, you kind of go, oh, shit, he's used two. When's he going to use the last one, as opposed to here's 10 darts and you're going to use it only twice. And magically, you're going to have the right round loaded, depending on the situation. It's still a Bond movie. Still fun. But I have to find the balance of rating it as a movie and rating it as a Bond movie within its franchise. Still watch this over a lot of stuff that we watched on the show. My limit on a Bond movie is still pretty high, but I'm bringing this in at a 3.0.
All right, gentlemen. Moonraker from 1979 is very inconsistent with our plot here. We got a pigeon that does a double take. We got Bond fighting an anaconda. We have him showing up randomly as a cowboy. And then, hey, let's jump on a spaceship with your new best friend, Jaws. Some of the set designs look really good here. Our space station looks good. Our hideout in the Amazon or Rio, whichever one that is, looks really good too. So I enjoyed that. Our Venice boat chase thing is just beyond ridiculous. Talk about an invention that's not helping Bond at all, really. It goes faster. I don't know. This does look like Broccoli just threw everything at the wall and whatever stuck he took, which is weird because he had more money this time around to really do this after The Spy Who Loved Me. I did watch that, as mentioned earlier in this episode, and I think maybe that hurt this movie a little more because I felt that The Spy Who Loved Me was pretty decent. Pretty decent entry there. Bones and I may not know how to pick a puppet movie or an erotic thriller, but I think this proves that Kron doesn't know how to pick 007. Moonraker is coming in with me at a 2.5.
Thank you, Dan. By the way, this met all the criteria of the stipulated category. This is an Eon Bond. There's no way around that. I met 100% of the checklist that you fill out in space.
I didn't say that.
Guys, does Moonraker have problems? Of course it does. It's over long. It feels long, especially towards the end of this thing. But I don't know, man. Like, I feel like Dan was pointing out all this stuff where it's like there's a gondola that drives through the streets and a bird does a double take. In Diamonds Are Forever, there's an elephant that plays a slot machine. Like, you can't just say this one is terrible. I mean, I guess I'm doing the same thing in a way, but they're all kind of dumb. Like, these early ones, it's like that's part of what you sign up for. And I think you just have to pick your flavor of what dumb works for you and what dumb doesn't. This one worked a lot better for me than Diamonds Are Forever. The stuff I would say Diamonds Are Forever does better is the theme song. And I really do like the Henchman, Winton Kid. Like, if I think about the Henchman in this, I guess there's Jaws, but even from what I read, it seems like everybody likes him a lot more in the previous movie. And then Chaw is just kind of like there's like not much really there. I feel like there's no real henchman that works in this thing. But overall, like, I like this story better. I feel like A Stolen Aircraft is a lot more of like a Bond mission than these blood diamonds are getting stolen. I do like the set pieces better. I mean, for as much as people have problems with this movie, it does look really, really good. Like the design work, even the special effects, the laser stuff at the end, I think that all looks pretty good. We already talked about it, but the great opening of this thing, the free fall, that like really hooked me into this one. I don't know, man. This just worked better for me. This is the kind of dumb Bond stuff I can hook into and enjoy. I think the easiest way I can kind of sum it up is, I guess if people are like super into Bond, which I'm not, I could see them saying, I don't really like this one because it does feel like it has a lot of outlier elements. But I really don't understand somebody saying they hate this movie. It's just like a goofy good time. Yeah, I'm a 3.0 on this. I had a fun time watching it. It does feel a little lengthy.
Kron, when I finally decided, like this is what I'm going to do, this is going to be my last category, I knew you were going to pick Moonraker.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and forth on what I wanted to do. Knowing I was going to go first, I did want to do a Connery, but it was kind of tough because of how perfect I think Diamonds Are Forever was as a 5DR movie. And Moonraker is so perfect as a 5DR movie. There's one other more that is like absolutely a 5DR movie. Mm-hmm. You can make a case for two other ones. But I was really nervous. I was like, these are so close together in that camp goof lower rank of most of the people that love the franchise. So it was kind of a risk of, I think I don't want to like hunker down too much into that.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, there's this part of me that is like, man, as much as Dan is kind of a wild card when he goes last, I kind of hope he also picks a lower ranked one. So then in season 4, we can do this again and maybe pick higher echelon ones to kind of come back and say, all right, this is why people love the franchise, you know? Because maybe you could. I mean, Puppet Master has how many fucking movies? But could you make 25 Bond movies at those budgets if they were all Diamonds Are Forever and Moonraker? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. Which is why Puppet Master is more resourceful.
Well, I mean, yeah. Shit, every Puppet Master budget combined is probably less than the cheapest Bond movie.
Yeah, gotta be. All right, guys. Moonraker has an average score from the three of us of 2.83. This would end up at number 103 on the big list. This would currently be right below Shock 'em Dead and right above Black Dog.
Kron, go ahead and throw a point on Dan and Bones for Rate My Letterboxd.
Oop, accidentally gave Bones 11 points. All right, at the end of this round, Dan, you would have 14 points. Bones, 13. Kron, 12. Dan, get us out of here.
Hey, you motherfuckers. 5D Army, if you're on social media, please follow us on Letterboxd, Threads, and Instagram. If you're on Spotify or Apple, please rate, review, subscribe to the show. It helps us bring the show to more people. But if you really want to fuck with us, there is a Discord link on every episode that drops every Wednesday of 5 Day Rentals. So get on there, join in on the fun. Tell us what bonds you think we should have did. But other than that, Crash and burn. I don't know. Just trying to think of something I can.
I support women. I love titties.
I was going to say something funny here, but I realized we're running late for the Glass Factory tour. So we better go.
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn. Welcome back, everybody, to the After Shower Show here on 5 Day Rentals. Whew, we took off those space suits. We can finally scrub ourselves from all that moon dust and laser phasers.
Were you guys happy when I finally showed you what a perfect specimen is in the shower?
I was surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you would be hard.
Hey, they're all that lumpy.
You think Jaws and Swiss Miss made it back to Earth safe?
I hope so.
Was that her name?
No, that's just what I'm...
In my heart, they did.
Yeah.
There is so much going on that I thought about, like, what is the point of all? And I was like, all right, we still got to chase down like 4 of these balls out in space.
I mean, they say it. Like, Bond's like, they'll be fine. It's only 100 miles back to Earth or something. And then in the command center, they're like, some throwaway line that they're safe. Just in case they need to bring him back in the next one.
In like 28.
Yeah.
They should have brought her back. That's who they should have brought back.
The Bond chick in the next one, she's pretty hardcore. It's a real course correction. That one, it For Your Eyes Only is pretty serious.
That seems to be the theme.
Yeah.
Goofy, serious. Which leads me to my 00 Hell Yeah pick. We had Diamonds Are Forever and Moonraker, which I think Bones did mention that kind of close in the goofiness era of Bond. Not era, but I guess decisions.
Decade.
By Broccoli. Decade, there you go.
Bond's in his goofy era.
Both 70s,
It's his brat girl summer.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning of the 70s, late 70s. Not that hardcore cinema change that's going on in Hollywood at the time, where people wanted real stories and grimy stuff, which is good. So I think with the pick of Moonraker, maybe we need to come back down to earth, and maybe we need to jump 10 years to 1989, and we need to get a little serious, maybe. I think we should act like Hemingway, and maybe we should drink a lot. And maybe we should watch a Bond movie. Maybe have a little key lime pie. Throw some sharks in there. Maybe we should go with a little Timmy Dalton. We should do License to Kill, because that's what it always was going to be from the moment that this 00 Hell Yeah was chosen. So from 1989, directed by Mr. John Glenn, who was mentioned in this here episode, we'll get to see one of his License to Kill, because if you give me enough time, I'm going to fucking kill it. And that's what we're going to do, boys.
Fuck yeah.
You're welcome.
Thanks, buddy.
It's a Wayne Newton starring vehicle.
Yeah, we got that. And I knew. Oh, that's Tom Jones.
This is a good pick, though, Dan. This is one of the few Bond movies I've seen, and I thoroughly enjoyed it when I watched it.
It's a big rig movie.
Mm-hmm.
This
This isn't the cocaine gas one, though, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, this is? Okay.
There's another connection. I really was thinking I was going to knock the living daylights out of you, but I did do a rewatch of that, and I was like,
It's too good.
Is it the other Dalton?
It's decent, but I was like, I think we'd have more fun with License to Kill, so.
Sanchez.
You had Felix getting married, which I did appreciate Felix and Diamonds Are Forever and all that shit. So, but yeah, I think
it's nice to have his CIA buddy back as opposed to some random CIA person that he doesn't know that doesn't trust him for no good reason.
So I think it'll be fun.
Talk about hugging wives. Dalton is straight up kissing wives, dude.
Kissing.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, bro. It's like, yeah, don't leave him in the room.
We go back to the skies for the cold open.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Nolan rips this fucking off for Dark Knight Rises.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing, Mr. Bond?
And we'll see what he's doing with 26.
Is that Everett McGill coming back on the show so soon?
Mm-hmm.
God damn. It's almost like all of this came together. It's almost like I manipulated season 2 better than Damon Lindelof handled Lost. You know, it's like, who's the better showrunner here?
Oh, so you didn't just shit your pants and give up?
Well, this could all be a dream. I don't know.
Man.
Yeah, we could all be dead on the Moonraker right now.
But I thought that would be a good evening out point for this 00. Hell yeah. Thank you, Bones, for the category. I've had a good time. I'm not going to lie. So definitely got a lot of bonds in. I think we talked pre-record that my whole October's been held up by Mr. 007 himself. So, which I'm not mad at.
It's a lot of U.S. Bond.
Yeah.
Well, mine was on the moon.
Well, so California, but
and the Amazon and Rio.
Yeah, but
Venice.
Those are the Americas.
Bones had Amsterdam and
Las Vegas,
French Riviera.
Yeah, and Las Vegas for 95% of it.
No, Dan's taking us to fucking Key West, baby.
Yeah, taking you to Hemingway's actual fucking house. That's the only thing Key West has.
They got
key lime pie. I guess.
They got pie. Yeah, dude.
And sharks, a shitload of them. And maggots. And cocaine.
I threw on No Time to Die the other day while I was cleaning the house. Just stood in my living room for 40 minutes. Just holding a Dyson. Playing tug of war with the dog. Just locked in.
I'm like, I need to rewatch. Because I've seen it in theater. That's the last time I've seen it. So I'm like, man, I need to rewatch that. What are you going to say, Kron?
I don't remember.
Sorry.
Right.
What's the Craig one that ends like Home Alone?
Skyfall.
All right. It's
better than you think.
When you said you didn't like Spectre, I was like, is that one? I couldn't remember.
No. It's the one after.
Okay.
And it's just egregious writing retcon problems that really, yeah. There's just overall massive decisions of that where it's like, fuck, at this point, I'd rather watch Moonraker.
All right, not the bottom.
Yep. I got to tell you, after the last few episodes and re-editing, I hope people recognize that I'm not trying to talk over you two. That just the inherent delay and the fact that I'm just generally louder than you two. So many times I realize that like we start talking at the same time and I always win and I feel bad. So my t-shirt should just say, I'm sorry, what were you going to say? Because so I hope you guys are okay. You're not secretly texting back and forth. Like, I wish, like even right now you started to talk and I kept going. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm okay letting you win on the Bond episodes. When we get back to Puppet Master movies, I'll just steamroll over you.
Deal.
It's been almost 200 episodes. They're used to this shit by now.
Yeah.
And if you just joined in, welcome.
And come next week.
When Bond returns in License to Kill.
Honeymoon.
Skydive into your fucking wedding. 1989. Hey, we'll join Sharky and all his Bond's friends. It's going to be a good time. See you next week. Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
Kron, you ever seen a tit you don't like?